My security plan, so important. They've taken the jobs from us. My security plan will bring safety to our poorest communities. My ethics plan will end the corruption in our government. We will the corruption is massive. We will drain the swamp in Washington, D.C. and replace it with a new government of, by, and for the people. Believe me. That is why I have chosen Gettysburg to unveil this contract. I'm asking the American people to rise above the noise and the clutter of our broken politics and to embrace that great faith and optimism that has always been the central ingredient in the American character. And there's nothing better or stronger than the American character. I am asking the American people to dream big once again. What follows is my 100-day action plan to make America great again. It's a contract between Donald J. Trump and the American voter, and it begins with bringing honesty, accountability, and change to Washington, D.C. Therefore, on the first day of my term of office, my administration will immediately pursue the following 6 measures to clean up the corruption and special interest collusion in Washington. First, a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on all members of Congress. Second, a hiring freeze on all federal employees to reduce federal workforce through attrition, exempting military, public safety, and public health. Third, a requirement that for every new federal regulation, 2 existing regulations must be eliminated. Regulations are killing our country and our jobs. Fourth, a 5-year ban on White House and congressional officials becoming lobbyists after they leave government service, making a fortune. Fifth, a lifetime ban on White House officials lobbying on behalf of a foreign government. Very bad. Six, a complete ban on foreign lobbyists raising money for American elections. That's what's happening. On the same day, I will begin taking, and really taking strongly, 7 actions to protect American workers. Our American workers have been treated so badly by politicians that don't have their interests at heart. And we're going to change that. We're going to change that very, very fast. First, I will announce my intention to totally renegotiate NAFTA, one of the worst deals our country has ever made, signed by Bill Clinton, or withdraw from the deal under Article 2205. Second, I will announce our withdrawal from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a potential disaster for our country. Third, I will direct my Secretary of the Treasury to label China a currency manipulator. China is a currency manipulator. What they have done to us by playing currency is very sad, and I don't blame them. They've been very smart. I blame our politicians for letting this take place. So easy to stop, so easy to stop. Fourth, I will direct the Secretary of Commerce and U.S. Trade Representative to identify all foreign trading abuses that unfairly impact American workers and direct them to use every tool under American and international law to end those abuses immediately. Fifth, very importantly, I will lift the restrictions on the production of $50 trillion worth of job-producing American energy reserves, including shale, oil, natural gas, and clean coal. And we will put our miners back to work. Sixth, I will lift the Obama-Clinton roadblocks that allow for this vital energy infrastructure projects to go forward. We have roadblocks like you've never, ever seen. Environmental blocks, structural blocks. We're going to allow the Keystone Pipeline and so many other things to move forward. Tremendous numbers of jobs and good for our country. We're going to cancel billions in payments to the United Nations climate change programs and use the money to fix America's water and environmental infrastructure. We're paying billions and billions and billions of dollars. We're going to fix our own environment. Additionally, on the first day, I will take the following 5 actions to restore security and constitutional rule of law. We have to do that. Cancel every unconstitutional executive action, memorandum, and order issued by President Obama. Second, begin the process of selecting a replacement for Justice Scalia, whose wife, by the way, has a Trump sign. His wife is a phenomenal woman. Has a Trump sign in her front yard. Isn't that nice? I just found that out this morning. Boom. Isn't that nice? He was great. From one of the 20 judges on my list, you know we're going to make great decisions from 20 outstanding judges on a list that we submitted, who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. Third, we will cancel all federal funding of sanctuary cities. Fourth, we will begin removing the more than 2 million criminal illegal immigrants from the country. These are drug dealers, gang heads, gang members, killers, and cancel visas to foreign countries that won't take them back. And when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, and they had someone who was bad, really bad, and they brought him back to the country and the country wouldn't take him, she said, well, bring him back. We don't want to force the country to take him. There won't be one such instance if I become president, believe me. We're going to suspend immigration from terror-prone regions where vetting cannot safely occur. And if you look at Syria and the migration, we're taking in thousands and thousands of people into our country. We have no idea who they are, what their thought process is, where they come from. And Hillary Clinton wants to increase the number of those thousands and thousands currently pouring in by 550%. Radical Islamic terror is right around the corner. We have to be so tough, so smart, so vigilant. We can't allow that to happen. We have enough problems. All vetting of people coming into our country will be considered extreme vetting. We will be very careful. Next, I will work with Congress to introduce the following broader legislative measures and fight for their passage within the first 100 days of my administration. Middle Class Tax Relief and Simplification Act, an economic plan designed to grow the economy 4% per year and create at least 25 million new jobs through massive tax reduction and simplification in combination with trade reform, regulatory relief, and lifting the restrictions on American energy. Need that so badly. Jobs. We need jobs. Our jobs have left us. Our good jobs have really left us. The largest tax reductions are for the middle class, who have been forgotten. It's called the forgotten man and woman. They have been forgotten. The middle class with family of 2 children will get basically approximately a 35% tax cut, and that's what they can use, and that money will go back into the economy. The current number of brackets will be reduced from 7 to 3, and tax forms will likewise be greatly simplified. The business rate will be lowered from 35% to 15%, and the trillions of dollars of American corporate money overseas can now be brought back at a 10% rate. It's stuck. We can't bring it back. $2.5 to $5 trillion. Companies can't get it back into the country. Some companies are actually leaving, not only because taxes are so high, but because they can't get their money, and they are actually leaving to get their money. We are going to simplify that. We're going to have them bring the money back into our country and use the money and spend the money on building our country. End the Offshoring Act. Establish tariffs to discourage companies from laying off their workers in order to relocate in other countries and ship their products back to the United States tax-free. They leave the United States, like Carrier, like Ford, like so many others. They leave the United States. They fire all of their employees. They go to Mexico or another country. They build a beautiful brand new plant. They hire other people. They then take their air conditioners, their cars, whatever they're making. They send it tax-free across what will be a very strong border, believe me. But they send it tax-free across the border. And what do we end up with? We have unemployment, tremendous losses, and we have none of the benefits. So we will establish tariffs that when they do that, there will be consequences. We'll work with them, we'll be nice, we'll be fair, but there have to be consequences. And when they know there are consequences, our companies will stop leaving the United States and going to other countries. The American Infrastructure Act leverages public-private partnerships and private investments through tax incentives to spur $1 trillion in infrastructure investment over the next 10 years. Our infrastructure is in such trouble. We've doubled our national debt to $20 trillion under President Obama. In less than 8 years, $10 trillion has been added. Think of it. And we haven't fixed anything. We haven't fixed anything. What have we done? Our roads are broken, our bridges, our tunnels, our hospitals, our schools, and we have $20 trillion in debt, all-time high. That's true. Our VA hospitals are in bad shape, and our VA is in very, very bad shape, and we will fix that. We are going to work on fixing that because our veterans have not been treated properly. We have illegal immigrants that are treated far better in many instances than our veterans, and we're not going to have that. School Choice and Education Opportunity Act redirects education dollars to give parents the right to send their kid, their children, to public, private, charter, magnet, religious, or home schools of their choice. And so importantly, we're going to end Common Core and bring education supervision to local communities. We do so badly on education. If you look at the lists and you see Sweden, Norway, Denmark, different countries at the top, you see us at the bottom. And yet, by far, per pupil, more money than anybody, and it's not even close. We spend more money per pupil than anybody, not even close. We're at the bottom of the list. Other countries spending far less per pupil are at the top of the list. So obviously, our current system is not working. We will change it, and we will make it good. It expands vocational and technical education, which we've totally forgotten about in this country, and make 2- and 4-year colleges more affordable. Have you ever gone to school and you've been with people that aren't good students, but they can fix an engine, or they can build a wall, or they can do things that you wouldn't even think about? Because we can use some of the ones that build the wall. We're going to need them. We're going to need them. We're going to need them. But did you ever see that? How they're genius at fixing a car. They can do anything. But history, not so good. Physics, not so good. I mean, we have to open vocational again. Those are the people. These are great people. The Repeal and Replace Obamacare Act. Fully repeal Obamacare and replace it with health savings accounts. So we can do that. The health savings accounts, it's one way. There are numerous ways, but this is one very good way. The ability to purchase health insurance across state lines, which we have to do because that's competition. The politicians won't let go of it because the insurance companies, they don't want competition. But we'll open it up. Believe me, we'll get rid of that. I've been saying it for years. And let states manage Medicaid funds. It will be so good. Reforms will also include cutting the red tape at the FDA. There are over 4,000 drugs awaiting approval, and we especially want to speed the approval of life-saving medications. I mean, they're looking at drugs that are looking very good, and you have terminal patients that it's over. These people, they're dying. They want to get the drug. They won't be living much longer. And we study it for years and years. At some point, they have to do what they have to do. They have to do it properly. But we have 4,000 different drugs and products waiting in line for approval, and we can't get them approved. We're going to speed up that process very significantly. Affordable Child Care and Elder Care Act allows Americans to deduct child care and elder care from their taxes, incentivizes employers to provide on-site, and so important, child care services. And you see that with a couple of companies, and it's such a great thing to see. And creates tax-free dependent care savings accounts for both young and elderly dependents with matching contributions for low-income families. So good. End Illegal Immigration Act. Fully funds the construction of a wall on our southern border. Don't worry about it. Remember, I said Mexico's paying for the wall. With the full understanding that the country of Mexico will be reimbursing the United States for the full cost of such a wall, okay? We're going to have the wall. Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Mexico's, by the way, I met with the president of Mexico 2.5 months ago. Wonderful meeting, wonderful person. But I told him, this is a two-way highway, not a one-way highway. We have our people. We have to take care of our people. We have to protect our people. So it's got to be a two-way street. Otherwise, it's going to be a whole different deal. But it establishes a 2-year mandatory minimum federal prison sentence. This is people coming in illegally for illegally re-entering the United States after a previous deportation, and a 5-year mandatory minimum for illegally re-entering for those with felony convictions, multiple misdemeanor convictions, or 2 or more prior deportations. So when somebody comes in, we send them out. They come back in, they go to prison for quite a while. They come back again, they go 5 years. because what's happening is they're coming back 10 times. And I could go case after case. They come back, look at what happened in San Francisco. 5 times he came back. On the 5th time, he killed Kate. 5 times. But so many others. 10 times came back, killed somebody after 10 times. When they get deported, they stay out. Otherwise, they have very serious prison terms. They will stay out. Once you do that, they will stay out. Right now, they have no consequence. They have no consequences. Also, reforms on visa rules to enhance penalties for overstaying and to ensure open jobs are offered to American workers first. Number 8, Restoring Community Safety Act reduces surging crime, drugs, and violence by creating a task force on violent crime and increasing funding for programs that train and assist your local police who are doing such a great job, believe me. We increase the resources for federal law enforcement agencies and federal prosecutors to dismantle criminal gangs and put violent offenders behind bars or out of our country and into the country where they came from. We will make America great again.